In this video, we're going to see a bunch of examples for finding surface area. And as a reminder, surface area is basically the sum of the areas of all faces of a solid. It would be similar to wanting to paint the outside of a solid or wrap the solid in wrapping paper, something like that. That's what surface area finds for me, as opposed to trying to fill up the solid with something. That's volume. That's going to be the next lesson. So these take a little bit of time, but there's nothing too complicated to them. So let's just dive right in and see a bunch of examples. So I have a rectangular prism. I can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces, top, bottom, left, right, front, back. And so let's just start finding some areas. So I'll do the front and back first. So the front and back is a 4 wide and a 4 tall rectangle. So my first area is going to be 4 times 4, which is 16. Notice I'm going to drop the units until the end just to make it go a little bit quicker. Now I'll do the left and right faces. So I see this face here. The right face is covered up by this blue face here, but I can see that it is a 4" by 2". So the second area will be 4 times 2, which is equal to 8 square inches. And now I'll do the top and the bottom, which I also see is 4 wide and 2 deep. So that's also going to be 4 times 2, which is equal to 8. And now I just go through and say, all right, my surface area, well, this blue face shows up twice, once on the front, once on the back. So that's going to be 2 times 16. This green face shows up twice, once on the left, once on the right, so that's 2 times 8. This yellow face shows up twice, once at the top, once at the bottom, so that's 2 times 8 as well. And 2 times 16 is 32. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 8 here is also 16. 32 plus 16 plus 16 is 64. The number without units is meaningless, but when I say, okay, 64, it's an area, so that's going to be inches squared. Now we have some meaning. So 64, 1 by 1 squared inches can cover this. Okay, find the surface area of the square pyramid below. You gotta love square pyramids because you don't need to find as many areas because a lot of the faces, 4 of the faces, are congruent. We'll start with the base though. I always like starting with the base. So on the base, I see that I have an 8" by 8" square. So my first area will be 8 times 8 equal to 64 square inches. Now for the triangles. There are 4 of them going around for a total of 5 faces, so 4 triangles and the 1 square. The triangle has a base of 8 and a height of 10, so its area will be 1/2 8 times 10, which is 40. And to find the overall surface area, there is 1 square at the bottom, so I just include the 64 a single time. However, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles, left, front, right, and back, so I will do 4 times this area. 4 times 40 is 160. 64 plus 160 gives me 224, and then the units, since it is an area, are inches squared. Next problem. Find the surface area of the rectangular pyramid below. And I see larger numbers. Not a problem, but I'll just probably want to go to the calculator to find the values of some of these things. So it's also a rectangle, so this left triangle is not the same as this front triangle. They have different bases and different heights. Okay, let's dive in. So the base of the rectangle is 20 wide, 36 across, 36 long. So I will do the first area is 20 times 36. That should be 720, but let me double check that. So 20 times 36 is 720. Okay, for this left side, right here, this left lateral face, it's a triangle that is 20 wide and 30 tall. So I have half times 20 times 30. Well, that's 10 times 30. That's 300. I could go to the calculator if I need to. Now for the front and back, and I'll definitely be going to the calculator for this one. So I have a 36 as a base, 26 as the height, so that's going to be 1/2 times 36 times 26, which is equal to, and let's go to the calculator, so 1/2 is the same as 0.5 times the base is 36 times the height is 26, and I get 468. Now, I just need to work my way through this. So the whole surface area, the rectangular base shows up once, so I only have 720 one time. The left triangle, this one right here, shows up on the left side and on the right side, so that's going to be 2 of them, so 2 times 300. And then this front face, this front triangle shows up twice, once to the front, once to the back, so I will have plus 2 times 468. I'll go to the calculator. 2 times 300 we know is 600, so I'll put that one in there. But just to be sure, 2 times 468, that should be 936. Let me double check. So 2 times 468, and it is 936, so that's wonderful. And let me bring down the 720. And so I can do 720 plus 600 plus 936 is 2,256. And again, need some units there, so that is an area, so it's square inches. Okay, let's see a couple more examples. Make sure this really settles in. So find the surface area of the rectangular prism below. We'll dive right in. We'll start with the bottom this time. Doesn't matter. I usually like the bases. So down here, same thing as up top. So in here, it is a 4 by 5 rectangle. So my first area will be 4 times 5, which is equal to 20. Now, we'll do the front and back. So the front and back are both rectangles that are 7 tall, 5 wide. So my second area is 7 times 5, which is 35. And now for the left and right. So left and right are 7 tall, but 4 wide. So that third area is going to be 7 times 4, which is 28. Each one of these faces shows up 2 times, so the whole surface area will be 2 times 20, which is 40, plus, wrong color, plus 2 times 35, which is 70, plus 2 times 28, which is 56. And now I'll just jump to the calculator. 40 plus 70 plus 56 is 166. And again, the units on that, it is an area, so I have square feet. 2 more examples. Here I have a square pyramid. So I'll start with the base. The base is a 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter square. So the first area is 5 times 5, which is equal to 25. Now, for the triangles, there are 4 congruent triangles going around here. Each of those triangles has a base of 5 and a height of 4. So each of those triangles has area 1/2 times 5 times 4, which is equal to 10. And so my surface area will be, it has a single square base, so the 25 shows up a single time, but it has 4 of these triangles, so it'll be 4 times that area, 4 times 10. 4 times 10 is 40. 40 plus 25 is 65. And the units should be square centimeters. All right, last example. So find the surface area of the rectangular pyramid below. Again, somewhat large numbers, so I'll probably be going to the calculator to get some of these values. So we'll start. I always like starting with the base, so I have this rectangle at the bottom that is 14. Ooh, this should probably be miles right here. Let's just make that miles. It could be inches, but we'll do what I meant to put in there. Have it be miles. Okay, so 14 by 20. So the first area is 14 times 20, and that's going to give me 280 square miles. If I look at the left triangle and the right triangular face, I see that they are both 14 by 26. So I have 1/2, 14, 26, which gives me, I think it's going to give me 182. Let me check. So 0.5 times 14 times 26. Oh, that's good. All right, 182. And now for the front and back faces, I have this 20 by 25. And so that will be 1/2 times 20 times 25. Half of 20 is 10. 10 times 25 is 250. And now I just need to do my surface area will equal the single rectangle, so just 280, plus 2 of these triangles for the left and right face, so 2 times 182, plus 2 of these faces for the front and back triangle. So I still have 280. 2 times 182 should give me 364. That should be green. Let me do that in green. Plus 364. 2 times 250 is 500. And now I'll go to the calculator and add these up. So I have 280 plus 364 plus 500. And that gives me 1,144. So 1,144. It is an area. These are in miles, so this will be in miles squared or square miles. As always, there's a link in the description down below to the original video where I explain what surface area is, what these solids are. There's also going to be a link to a worksheet so you can get some practice on your own.